Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. We're Mums Melanin. My name's Takoni.
I'm Tkumba.
I'm Iola.
And I'm Debbie.
Listen guys, we've got an issue. If you haven't subscribed yet and you're watching, Iola, give them that eye that you give them. That and that. Listen, press subscribe, click on that button right now. We've got a different episode for you today. We've got a different feel of what we're going for. We're going to be watching a video and talking about what we think, whether we share the same views or different views. But this is a video by Noelle Casey on YouTube, and the title of her video is Things I Don't Let My Kids Do and Why. Gentle parenting, basically. So we are gonna start off.
Let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing that I don't let my kids do, or at least my daughter do, because my son's not gonna do this anyway, is painting their nails. Now, the reason being for this is because I personally just don't think it looks good on little kids, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's an adult kind of like grown-up thing, something they can look forward to in the future. Like, I don't know, I think nail polish chips and it starts looking kind of like gross after a little bit, and I just feel like there's no reason and it's not necessary.
I agree.
I agree.
100%.
I was brought up like that, but I feel like brought up in the same like no nail varnish. But for my kids now, whatever, do you know?
I find it weird when I see little kids with nail
I don't
varnish.
like it.
I'm just like, why? Like, can't they just be doing other things? Why are they there painting nails? Like, why can't they play?
I understand that it's
I don't know.
They pick it off
Dress up
anyway.
and all that.
Like it's just
No, I think I took Kiana when I got my nails
No,
done.
you're not
one
going to
time,
nail shop.
and she was like, oh, I want to paint my nails. So I was like, okay, you know what? You can paint them this one time. And she got her nail paint or whatever. And within a week, she took it off. I think that's the only time as a child, and she was like 7, that I allowed that. Until now, she's 15 years old. She's had her nails done all of twice, and both times were on her birthday. Because why?
I think when I was younger, I was allowed to paint my nails. I remember having one nail polish that is literally you can peel
it off. Yeah.
At what
Like
age?
those peel off ones. I was young.
I think those.
Like primary school, maybe like a Barbie nail polish.
Yeah.
It doesn't stay on.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, but that's
literally
different.
it.
No, but most of the
I see that more
nail
like a
varnishes
toy,
are
like,
that.
because it comes off.
Yeah.
But that's
No,
not
you
most
see
of them
children
are
with
like
actual
that.
nail varnish.
Yeah.
A lot of children use actual nail varnish.
Well,
Mummy's
I feel
one.
like-
They're in a nail
My
shop
kids
with
use
their
mine,
mum and they're getting
yeah.
their nails painted.
Yeah,
I don't mind the toy.
I was never nail shopping, but I feel like when I was like in early secondary school, I was buying little nail polishes in Superdrug, painting my toenails pink. I was doing all of that, and it was just it wasn't in the shop. It wasn't like professional.
Yeah.
But it was just me mixing around.
But I do think-
putting glitter on top, doing little bits and bobs. Like.
Yeah, but secondary school is different. You are a little
Like
bit
child,
older.
primary
I'm talking about,
school.
primary
Like
school old.
5. Like
And they've got, like,
4-year-olds. Like their nail buds, have they even fully developed their nail buds yet?
It's
Okay,
as a
wait,
cuticle grown.
There's more to come. There's more to come.
For children to have nail polish, and I am going to, Nola's not even 2 yet, but I already have this like set in my head. I already decided on it that she probably just will not be painting her nails, and I will just explain to her why and that she can look forward to it. We can like play pretend, but I just think that it's not necessary for little kids. The next thing that I don't let my kids do is getting their ears pierced. I really went back and forth.
Before she gets into her reason,
Getting their ear pierced at what age? Because my daughter had her ear pierced at 8 months, and even that was too late.
No, I think she's saying she's not going to pierce her daughter's ears
At all.
Yeah,
I think
I think
that's a
that's
choice.
a
Yeah, that's a
subjective
choice.
thing,
Like,
yeah.
I don't think it's deemed bad, or because my niece didn't have her ears pierced until the other day, and even though she don't wear earrings again, it's closed up. So that's it. Like it's a choice. That one is not really anything.
okay, that's her reason.
On this one, and a lot of people traditionally get their kids' ears pierced, especially girls, really young. And I was just like, I don't like. Okay, so when I was little, my mom waited until I was like 8 or 9 years old, and I could decide for myself if I wanted it done or not. And I actually really appreciated that. I remember the whole experience. It was like a whole thing. I actually kind of flaked out a few times when we went to go get it done. But finally, I was brave enough and I did it. And I remember the whole experience. And it was like a whole little moment or whatever. And I really love the fact that she did that. And I just think that it's something your kids should be able to choose. Like, maybe they don't want them pierced. Maybe they do. I had some friends actually in high school that didn't want their ears pierced. and never would wear earrings just for that reason. So I think it's so important to let our kids make these decisions and choose for themselves as they get older, because I feel like just because we're the parents doesn't mean we need to make all these kind of decisions for them, because they can when they're a little bit older. And yeah, so no ear piercings for Nola.
She reminds me of you in that moment where you're like, children should have their own choice.
I agree with her. Because that one is like, all right, cool. Like, well, you're never really gonna know if your child is gonna want their ear pierced or not. That's such it's such a minute thing. Like, but everything else, like, yeah, man, I'm here for it.
What do you guys think? I know you got boys, but
Yeah, it's teach their own. Like, I'll still pierce my daughter's ears, but
Yeah, I think it's a subjective thing, but I think because I've known it to be the norm to pierce your daughter's ears from young, it's just the norm to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I would do it because it's the norm.
She doesn't want to
And I can't imagine her being angry. Exactly.
True,
It's the fact
true.
that it's not by force, isn't it?
True.
Even though you probably still wear it. No, I'm joking.
by force you must wear your earring.
God, just no, I'm joking.
Until she decides if she wants it, then I'm all here for it. I will take her. We'll have a whole little girls moment or whatever. But I just feel like until then, we're gonna just hold off. And again, no shade. That does not mean you're a bad mom by any means when I say any of these things. I just have chosen this for our family. I want to make that so clear, because I don't want you guys to feel like you're bad if you do any of this, or that we can't be friends or any of that. Like, this is just what I chose. And you know, my friends and mama friends have different beliefs in what they do, and that doesn't mean I don't like you if you do these things, okay? So, to make that very clear. Another thing that I don't let my kids do is I don't cut their hair, because they are so little. I am like kind of hell-bent on that. I don't want to cut Noah's hair. It's getting really long. I just feel like we've trimmed it, obviously, because dead ends and like you want it to still grow. But I just feel like, again, that's another decision that he can make when he's older. I feel like what
is that? We don't cut their hair.
I get it though.
Yeah, it's not
Boys as well.
She said she's not cutting the kids' hair till they're 3 years old.
Yeah. How old is Noah?
Yeah, but that's the thing. She said till they're 3 years old.
She's
saying until they're ready.
Yeah.
That is a personal choice.
I understand, because even in our culture, we don't cut. Well, I've been told that you don't cut your child's hair until they can speak.
Some people, some traditions will cut hair early to get rid of that birth hair.
Exactly.
That's true. Like all of that, I'm just.
If she wants to grow out.
Yeah, I guess again it's preference.
Obviously, all of it is preference, but obviously it's our ideas and what we think about those preferences. Like, would you do the same?
I think for me, like I had Mikai's hair growing. I used to even cane roll it and stuff, and it was really nice and soft. And when it wasn't quite thriving any longer, then I tried my best. The hair was not really working alongside my vision. So hey ho. So obviously we had to get rid of it. But I would never, for me, it should be my child's decision if they want to cut their hair. I just don't think it's that deep. And hair grows. Like, to me, it's like when you get to a stage, if you want to have longer hair, you can do that at a later stage. It's not a be all or end all.
Yeah, I get that.
So I don't vlog more than once a week or once every 2 weeks.
I'll just pause it. What she's saying is, she doesn't have her kids on like the internet much. So she vlogs, but not much with her kids in it, to respect their privacy, dignity, like being a child.
We spoke about this before, like I'm here for it within reason. Like, again, I post on what I feel is secure for myself and my children. So you'll mainly see my children on like my Snapchat, because I have control over who can watch it to a certain extent. I won't really put my kids on Instagram. Like, I don't. It's just not me. It's not. I don't feel like I have any control on Instagram.
I think again it's subjective, but it's because the internet's such a dangerous place. I think that's why a lot of people won't do it. I think naturally you just want to show off your little child and how cute or what they did, but it's the fact that people can manipulate it. If not, I'll probably post my child. Like I probably would more, but I barely post any much at all, because I'm not really here for people's views. It's just no thanks.
And I feel like I don't have that much to share anyway, vlogging like every day. That's just not for us. Not for us. I want them to have their own privacy and be able to live their little lives without like so many people watching, We definitely do fight sometimes in front of them. It never gets like crazy or like physical or anything like that. But I like to, you know, show them what a real healthy marriage is like, how you solve problems, how we, you know, make up and all that stuff after we have like a disagreement or an argument. I think that's so important because growing up, I did have some friends that like their parents never fought, and then out of nowhere they got a divorce, and the kids are like, what?
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
I feel like this is everything that we've been saying, like literally.
It's that idea of gentle parenting and the not so gentle parenting, but it's like the more what did I say? I've said it before in terms of being more conscious about our parenting.
Yeah.
You know, like mindfulness, that's it. Mindful parenting.
I think parents, we aim to protect our children, isn't it? That's why some people just show them nothing. They don't show any of the fighting. The heart behind it is to protect. But like she said, it's like then there's a divorce and it's just like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
And you're almost not showing them real life. I think everything in balance. Like you shouldn't be screaming and shouting and chucking things in front of your children, but disagreements happen. And sometimes they happen just in a moment, like over something so little. It doesn't have to become a big thing, but
what I find, what I find quite important or interesting about what she's saying is that we do it in front of them. Like it's not like it doesn't sound like there's any effort for it to be hidden.
Yeah. It's like she's happy. She's intentional about making sure that they can see that it's part and parcel of life.
We don't let our kids think that like sugary things are treats, because I want them to have a good relationship with food, and we always put like little desserts or sweet things with their food. That's something we've always done, just because I want to make sure that they don't think sweets are treats, because then they are going to be like super excited when they see something sweet. And I think that it's just food and it should just be a part of their normal.
Yeah, I follow a couple of food pages and they sort of advise the same thing. That it's not like, oh, if you don't eat your food, you don't get dessert. It's not like a separate thing. Actually, it's just food like every other food. Do you understand that?
But then how do you then come back when they just want to eat the sweets? If it's just food, give me the sweets then. I don't want the main.
Then you don't give them more. So they can have what you've given and there's just not more. That's it.
So the only option they have to eat is their food.
So they're happy to
that.
just eat their sweets and that's it. They don't care.
Then that's it.
And
But
so
we're
there's
not
no food.
You're talking about a second thing though. Yeah, but then that's it. They don't eat the
Because
food.
what she's saying
But
is the
she's saying
food
it's
and
not
the
a
sweet
reward.
come together.
No, I know.
So what if
But
they
she
start
said,
eating the sweet?
You know how she said that the sweets and the meal, everything's like available, right? So if Roman said, okay, I only want the Haribos on this plate, I don't want to eat the meal.
That's it. Then.
So you let him go to bed like
You're
that.
going to be hungry.
And then if he wants the food, then you make him go and eat that same food again.
Even now, I don't force someone to eat. I'm not doing it like, it's just, if you're hungry, if you don't want to eat it, then you're not going to eat it. That's it then. You haven't got nothing else. The best you got is apple or pear. That's all I can offer you more.
But does he wake up at night wanting food?
Really?
See, Makai would be like, I'm so hungry. I'm not doing that in the middle of the night at 3 in the morning. So I'm more likely to want to encourage you to eat. And if there was sweets and food on the plate, first thing he's eating is the sweets. Maybe because it's become a reward thing. I don't really know, because I don't because of his teeth, and I don't want him to be someone that's so big on sweets. Like, or have. It's not bad to have a sweet tooth, but under control. Do you know what I mean? So I don't want to have it too much. I do allow sweets, but I think it is kind of a little bit of a treat thing for me, and I don't really have a problem with that. Personally, I don't know. I wouldn't really put sweets and a meal on the plate. I think for me, it's just strange. 100%. I don't think I could do that.
And I think my children, all of them are inclusive. They're at an age where I can actually say, listen, eat your food or you have nothing. You go to, like, even down to yesterday, I was like, I don't want to eat this rice. Okay, fine, go to bed. And he sat there, he was like,
there's nothing else?
Literally, like, there's actually nothing else. So go to bed. And Mara too looked, she was eating her rice. I'm not going to bed. I just, not because like you're not eating your rice so you must go to bed. It's actually late, it's your bedtime. Now you need to go to bed. Like there's nothing else.
But also, I think it's also language as well. I've got a feeling that she means like dessert and stuff. I don't think it's literally like a Haribo on the plate. It could be a Haribo, but it's just generally, you know how like before afters, we don't really eat afters. It's not really our culture. Do you understand? Like normally, but like dessert is like a big thing. Like having something sweet, having like those sweet sugary snacks. Well, actually, just make it part of the general meal. That actually, this is your allotted amount, and that's it. Yeah.
Again, I wouldn't do that, considering that as well. Like. Because there's sweet things like, I don't know, stick toffee pudding or cake and custard or I don't know, I can't think of whatever you might be giving your children. It fills you up, so you become full on that, and then tomorrow you might only want that because I don't want rice. Do you know what I mean? Like, Yeah,
It opens
I
up the
don't.
floor for that.
Yeah, I want you to have a balance in your diet. I don't think it would work.
But
for
I
me.
think if they eat the sweet first, it's just that amount of like you portion out, isn't it?
Yeah, but if
So
every day all you're
because
eating is a dessert.
So if you're
But
gonna
it's
do
not enough
it,
to fill you up, though.
you're not gonna give them
Yeah,
enough.
but you know
Don't
some
know that.
children are just
Kids don't
happy
know
with
that.
that and they want to just run around.
They'll firm it.
Eventually you're gonna get hungry one day, innit? One day.
But then that one day now they're screaming for the thing that they've been eating, which is the cake and custard.
Yeah.
And now you've got a kid throwing
it
a
won't be
tantrum.
enough though to fill them up. though.
Okay, but
What he's saying is that you will give a small enough portion that they're gonna
Yeah.
have and still be able
Yeah,
to
but
eat
remember
their
That's
meal.
my presumption. Again, the pages I follow, it's like, you got a whole plate.
Yeah.
You may have a bit of stuff here, a bit of stuff
Yeah.
here, a bit of stuff here. Then you may have a little muffin or cupcake. Not like the adult ones, in the mini ones
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. You know?
But remember you said that sometimes if Roman don't want to eat food, you're not going to force him, right?
Yeah.
You're just going to let him go to bed. So if he only wants to eat the cake and custard, even if it's small and it doesn't
Not
fill
getting
him,
okay,
and he's
but-
happy,
Yeah.
will you just be okay? Because every day...
No, but you're encouraging them. I'm not going to force you. So I'm going to encourage you. Do you understand? Like, come on, eat something.
Yeah.
I'm not going to like force you. Roman's a bit like, it's gonna end, like, it's not gonna end well for us. For him or me, so I'm just gonna like, but then also, on the whole, Roman's an okay eater.
Yeah.
He's not as good now as he's getting older,
Yeah.
but he's on the whole, he's okay eater. If he's hungry,
Yeah.
he's gonna eat. And so I've never had to really, do you understand?
I think even if I had the dessert there, I would say you need to eat this first and then you can have the dessert.
Yeah.
It's yours, it's in
You
front of
bring
you.
it after.
Yeah, even if it's there, but I would instill that kind of discipline that
Yeah.
once you eat this, and I'll make sure that it's not too much and they still have space for the dessert if I want them to have it.
Yeah.
But that law will still be there. It's not that you're having a bit of apple
Crumble,
pie and crumble or whatever, and you're also
Eating
you
your
buy
rice
some
and
stew
stew.
and you now kick the meat to the curb because you want a bit more cake. Yeah, I'm not really about that. The meat is expensive, man.
Literally.
But I guess the healthy relationship with food is interesting. I don't know the right fix for it, but it's like, yeah, because even before, so I didn't give Roman sweet things for a long time, and now we started getting sweets. It's all you can talk about. Like, and I don't, on one of the few pages, they will like introduce those things early, so that again, it's not a treat. So I was thinking maybe I delayed it too long. Do you understand? So now it's like robots, sweets.
But growing up for
sweets.
me, my mum never had like sweets and loads of stuff like that in the house. She'll have biscuits and stuff. She'll give it to you, but it was very controlled. It wasn't just like we didn't have it like that. And now I'm not a person that likes sweet things. I might want cake and custard every now and again, but I never really want sweets. Now a friend of mine who's like family friend, her mum always had sweets galore. Everything was, she's just one of them kind of people that just, do you want a sweet? Do you want a lollipop? And my friend, she's addicted to sweets. Like she gets like withdrawals. Like, oh my God, I haven't had sweets. You just need it. Like she can be at uni and just feel like, no, honestly, she'll get like, I need Tantastics. Like, and she really needs it. And when she eats it, she's like,
Do you know what's interesting?
Honestly.
I think it's just character.
Yeah, it is.
That's an addiction.
So that's my point. That's my point. It depends on the person, right?
Because also a young person could grow up in a home where there's no sweets, and the minute they get that freedom, as they become, they're addicted. They just have to have sweets, and the opposite, it goes the other way around as well.
Yeah.
In my house, we have a sweet cupboard. There's always something in
I
it.
always had a snack cupboard.
Yeah, I have a snack cupboard. But it's
snack
funny because
cupboard.
my sister, I think she's a lot more, we grew up in the same house. Sweets were not like readily just sitting around like that. My mum would give it to you, probably more like treat, version.
Yeah.
But my sister, she's very big on like, she just wants to eat sweets and eat chocolate. I'm just looking at it like, are you right? But me and my brother in the same household don't like that. So you're right, it's down to the person.
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes when we make these like regulations and stuff, we obviously mean well, but different children will take to it differently. That's just it.
Yeah.
That's true.
That it's just food and it should just be a part of their normal, but we really regulate their sugar, so it's not like we let them have a lot. And a lot of the things that are sugary are actually really healthy or organic. We really try very hard to monitor their sugar intake, but we don't like to give dessert like afterwards. We kind of just give it to them with their food. That way it's just a part of their food. And I noticed that they eat their food a lot more when doing this way. They might eat the sugar stuff first, but then they go ahead and eat the rest of their food, and they're not like waiting for that treat afterwards because it's already there on their plate. So that works really well for us, and that's what we do. I don't let my kids use any tablets or our phones. Like, that's just a no-no in this house because I just feel like it's unnecessary. Those things are ours as adults, and I don't think that kids really need electronics like that, like especially access to the internet. The internet is a scary place. It's a scary place, and I just feel like kids don't need to be on it. I am going to try so hard to keep them off of it for as long as possible. And you might say, well, Noelle, you put your kids on YouTube. I do. But them, like, personally, are not going to be on social media or the internet for a very long time. And I'm going to try my best to keep it that way. And I don't let them just watch whatever they want.
So the concept sounds amazing. I think every parent strives to lessen or even get rid of screen time, but the reality is something very different. And God knows, I don't want to hear, mommy, just take the tablet and go sit down, because sometimes you just need to live your life. Sometimes you need to work, sometimes you need to clean, sometimes you need to cook, and the tablet, the phone is there. The only thing I will say, and what I try to do, is monitor or direct what they're watching. So when I was younger, he would only watch ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, shapes, this, that, and I knew that actually he's actually getting something from this. Mara, she kind of followed off the back of Isaiah, so it just so happens that she watches a lot of these kid YouTubers, but I've started navigating her towards her ABC because I realized, okay, this one need to be catching up. So I'm trying to monitor what they watch so that I don't feel as guilty. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but,
make it educational.
Yeah.
Because I think they can learn a lot.
Yeah.
Like, you can learn a lot
definitely.
on these apps, on YouTube and stuff. But her point about like kids being on the internet, that is a crazy place.
Yeah,
so outside of like YouTube or outside of like a controlled like YouTube Kids or a sort of controlled app, being on the internet, as they get older, like 9, 10-year-olds joining TikTok and things like that.
Even Roblox. Like, Sienna started playing Roblox.
I was banned from Roblox.
Yeah, like I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, no, because
Like-
the one again, I don't know to what extent this Roblox, because things can be taken and manipulated and recreated, and I just know that I saw Roblox, I heard swearing, as I copied. That's the end of it. So that was when he was like, what, 5? Since then, he will say, when I'm 10, I can play Roblox. I can play Roblox right
It's
now.
recently like she's had it on an iPad, and recently she's been playing it like properly. And she's like, oh, my friends. I'm like, what friends? Who are they? Like, who? What did they say? And I went through the chat because they write, and I went through to read like what these people, because you don't know what they're saying. So I get her, like, the internet is a scary place.
It is.
So I said to her, like, and then I started talking about internet safety. Like, okay, like they're not your friends, first of all. Like, these are strangers that, you know, obviously you're socializing on this game, but you know, you have to be careful about.
I don't know much about that game, but
are.
that alone is quite creepy
It's
for me.
talking
Like,
to,
I don't want you
like
talking
online
to,
gaming, isn't it? Like,
yeah, no, I don't think I'd be for that. But the thing is, I'm not against screen time, and I think it's just depending on what you're watching. Like you said, I'm really not against it. I don't actually see anything in excess is obviously not good for you, but I'm more than happy for you to watch about dinosaurs and about, you know, the world
that'll
and
teach you
about
something.
So you're
It's
learning.
the way
So
of the future. Like,
exactly.
by the time our children are grown, internet will probably be everything.
That's it.
Exactly.
You work on the internet. You didn't.
That's it.
Yeah,
It's a different
I know.
time from when we grew up, and I think sometimes we have to. We kind of grow with the times, you know what I mean? But you can navigate what they're watching. Like, the internet could be so educational. It really could. So I don't know. I'm really, personally, I'm not against screen time. I just think in balance, isn't it?
Let them just watch whatever they want. If they are using like the iPad, I make sure I go to it and it's very appropriate. It's a kid situation, something they can learn, like Sesame Street, Doc McStuffins, Blue's Clues, things like that.
That's what I thought.
Exactly.
Nah, my eyebrow is raised.
Yeah.
Literally, I was thinking, hold on, because I was with her at one point. I was saying that
Oh, what you saying?
she does, yeah.
Yeah, she lets them watch Sesame Street and
Blue's
If they do
Clues.
use the iPad,
If they
that's what
do,
they watch.
Yeah. But initially, she started off saying like she
against
doesn't.
screen time,
Yeah.
Noelle.
Look at it upside down.
and not, you know, so I just know what they're watching. Monitor what your kids are watching, especially if they're watching YouTube. Just eyes on that always. But yeah, so if they do ever have a tablet, it's just for purely watching something, and really that's it. But usually when they are watching something, it's usually on the big screen on the TV. It's really rare if they have an iPad. So yeah, since we're talking about screen time, since I kind of like walked over to screen time is something else we really limit. Now, I am not anti-screen time. I think screen time is our friend as parents. I think
I'm confused.
And I think that
is she
I'm
saying
confused.
that she doesn't allow her children to have iPads and tablets in
For
the first
themselves,
one,
yeah.
But then she does allow screen time.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what she's getting at.
And the screen time more so is
On
more
the
TV
TV.
than a tablet.
Yeah.
So
I agree
not
with that,
using
to be
our
honest. I do
tablets and
prefer
our
the TV.
phones.
And I think, because obviously, the internet, you know, they can flick around on iPads and stuff, so you can come across God knows what. On the TV, it's likely to be more focused. Everyone can
And
see
you
what
can
it is. So
monitor it
there is more control,
I think that it could be really good for them actually, but I like to monitor TV time, and I like to try to have it later on in the day, about like 1 or 2 o'clock, like once the morning is kind of done and we've done some like sensory activities or some kind of outside play or some kind of learning
She's at home with the
something in the
kids.
morning.
It's different.
But yes, so I monitor.
Literally, I was
But
going to
she might be
say,
talking
if your
about
children
weekends.
are not
She may be.
using tablets and phones,
She
and
may not
that,
be
On the
working in
weekend,
the
I
morning.
used to
with
play
them.
them on a Saturday morning.
You can. There's people that do that. Why won't
She
you?
said, where they do that?
Just because you ain't doing it.
People aren't going to nursery. The kids aren't going to nursery. They're doing something if they do it on the weekend.
I think it depends. If you're someone that's quite intentional about not wanting your child to always sit in front of the screen,
You have
if you
to-
have the
you have to-
you
you
will
have to
find
be
there's
available.
some people are creative
because
to
more time you're
find
giving your child an iPad
ways
or
of doing
tablet so that you
things,
can
you know
do
what I
what
mean?
you need to do.
But the vibe I'm getting is that our kids are with her.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, but we can't be
vibe.
sure. I'm just saying we can't be sure.
But that's the.
But I quite like that. Like, if I wasn't working and tired all the time, I feel like in my head, in all honesty,
What are you saying to
in
me?
my head, I would love to like wake up and let's go and do a little scavenger hunt in the. I would love to do that. But in this season, if I can sleep a little bit longer,
Extra 10 minutes.
how about I just
Extra
take the
hour.
sleep? But you know what I mean? I do think it's good to just do other things. Like, it's good to do other things with your kids.
100%.
It is building memories. Do you know what I mean? It's knowing that there's other things out there other than the screen. Do you know what I mean? Other than the same old, same old. So I do like it, but I don't know how real it is when you're a working parent.
Screen time. I try not to let them watch too much TV, but yes, they do watch TV. But just I'm trying to, monitor how much they watch, and it's not excessive. I don't like to tell my kids no, but I do sometimes. I mean, it's really hard to break this habit, but I'm trying to. I try to tell them why not to do something instead of just saying no, like don't do that. It just gives them more of an explanation. It's like a learning, teaching moment as well, to try to tell them and explain the why behind you don't want them to do something. This takes practice, and I'm still really trying to adapt this habit, but so far it's been pretty good. But I might say no every now and then, but I'm really trying to knock that out and just really hone in on explaining why not to do something. Like Noah,
This reminds me of, was it T? You were saying that you tried to do the gentle parenting thing. And like, yeah. Like I agree with her in terms of explaining why. But sometimes they need to be told
No,
off.
I'm gonna be saying a no.
Yeah.
Like, my 1-year-old, it needs to be clear and short.
It's true.
See,
And that's what they understand, right?
yeah, and my 3-year-old as well. It needs to be sharp and straight. Like,
And you find that most times when you don't need to explain, it's because they know what they're doing is really wrong. 100%. So it's like, I've already given you an explanation 500 times when you did it 500 months ago. How about just no? Do you know what I mean? Because most times if it's something new or a danger they can't see, that's when you're likely, I think we're all likely to explain, don't do that because if you do this, blah, blah, blah. But most times they know by that point, it's something that they know they shouldn't be doing and they just want to do, or you've told them already, stop that please, or whatever, don't do that. And by this point it's now no.
And I was watching something here, and why look at me? Don't look at me. And then there's actually anyway, the young girl was like no, and somebody asked her for a follow up, and she was like no is a standalone sentence. It can be a sentence. Does that make sense? So also I think it's good for kids to know that actually you don't owe everybody an explanation all the time. Obviously I'm a parent, so it's good, but actually in life you can say no. I don't have to explain to you. I don't have to. Do you understand that? Sometimes I feel like we do over-explaining. It's not by force. Do you understand? Actually, no can be enough. Like when you talk about like consent and boundaries and stuff, actually it could just be no. Because I don't want to.
True.
No.
True.
Like I'm on, do you understand?
True.
So it's how you see it, but I'm happy with my nose.
Yeah, they shouldn't bring the nose to me. That's it. I'm happy to encourage you, to build you, to go out there and give your nose. But know your space. I always tell, look around. Ian. You're at home, yeah? Am I? Yeah. No nose. No thanks.
Don't know me.
Don't know me, boy.
I just find it interesting, this kind of like style of parenting where, you know, we're trying to say no. We're trying to not do certain things and trying to, obviously it's the gentle parenting, but sometimes I feel like parenting isn't gentle. Like parenting itself, giving birth to a child, having a child is not gentle. So it needs to
go all the way back to the hospital.
Yeah, like it's true.
She said when they gave me a drip, there was nothing gentle about that.
And the kids themselves are not gentle at all. They're not.
So sometimes it needs a little something.
I don't know. I think for me though, when I think about gentle parenting, because one of my son's mums was talking to me about this and how her sister does gentle parenting, and like, if her son is doing something wrong, she'd like get down to his level and say it, and if he does it again, she'll get down to his level and, you know, just kind of repeat it and try and reinforce it. That for me, that's the first thing I thought. Where's the cutoff point? That's the first thing I thought. I kind of thought, okay, we're well and good, but do you know what I mean? And a lot of gentle parenting, I've seen it's like kind of just reinforcing it and repeating it. But some children that will, they know that they can ride you and they will just ride you. And I just feel like, I don't know, that's why I feel like from that point of view, I can't do this strictly gentle parenting because I can't be repeating myself and I've now become just a broken record, but you're not actually listening.
Is gentle parenting still gentle parenting if you threaten them?
No.
It's not. It's not like threatening. But threatening like, okay, like you need to sit down, otherwise you're not going to watch your Sonic or you're not going to get
that. But that's consequences. I think you can do. I think that's part of it. I think you can do.
I don't know.
There's consequences to your actions. Like that's bad because you can enforce boundaries and have consequences. But you're not meant to be shouting. I do a lot of shouting. They even told me, I don't shout too much.
She's so loud. She's so loud.
I think that's just my general.
I agree with that statement.
It's the DNA. Because
I agree with that. Why are you shouting? She's like, I'm not shouting. That's just my voice.
My mum's saying.
That's how I am.
It's just my voice.
But you know, sometimes you don't even know when you're projecting. Like,
she just be like, she was on the toilet, bearing in mind the toilet's upstairs. Everyone's sitting downstairs eating dinner. I was just like, why are you making noise? As I was being shouting, I've got videos of him like 2-3 months.
When he was a baby, I remember he used to scream at night.
It's her. It's their makeup. That's how they be moving. Just making noise anyhow like this. Should we be sitting here together? It's loud. It's loud.
Oh, let's see what she's saying.
So, don't hit your sister, or no, don't hit your sister. Instead of doing that, I try to just explain to him, like, Noah, we don't hit each other because, you know, blank, blank, blank. Just, you know, just
that takes a level of understanding.
This is what I'm saying.
You have to be able to understand, like, that's the level of understanding.
You even need to be able to appreciate what's being said, because you might actually, the consequence of explaining to you might be what you actually desired as a child. It's true, if I hit my sister because she took something from me, so I stand by my decision. Do you know what I'm saying? So you say, don't hit her because you're going to be hurt. It's like, I want her to be hurt because she took my toy.
This is it.
No, let's be real. Like, when you're a child, you knew what you're doing and why you did it, isn't it? Like, it's true. So sometimes I feel like this is where you get to the repetition of, yeah, but don't hit her because, and it's just like, Pam, because if you take my stuff, I'm going to, do you know what I mean? I don't know, like, I don't know for me, I don't know.
You said, and then?
Yeah. I don't know.
So they kind of are like, whoa, like what? So they don't throw a tantrum. And 2, they're understanding a little bit more why not to do something instead of just saying like, now don't do it. It just is more of a teaching moment, and, you know, so I try to do that. That is something I'm still working on, but so far, you know, it's going good. It's going good. It's not perfect, but it's in the works. I don't make a big deal when my kids get hurt. Now, sometimes this could be a hard thing. This is something I had to learn. Like, the first thing you want to do when your kid gets hurt is like, oh, like, are you okay? Like, get all dramatic about it. But honestly, if you don't, and you kind of just internalize it a little bit and just like check to make sure they're okay, you tell them that they're okay, they won't react and have this huge tantrum or, you know, screaming and crying.
Yeah, I agree.
I struggle with this one.
It's hard, definitely.
I'm not gonna lie, Makai hurts himself, I'm flying there. I'm like, let me check your limb, let me check your ear. I'm that person, I'm not gonna lie. And I can understand why to some degree, you know, you shouldn't like magnify it, but he's hurt. He's just hurt. And sometimes I even get irritated when you're like, leave him. No, he's hurt. If I'm hurt, I'm going to scream and I want someone to check on me. So therefore, and can everyone just note that now? In fact, viewers, if I'm hurt, please can you message, drop a comment. How you doing, Iola? I like that. So I think because of that, I don't know why people are looking at me. I can't hear you. Obviously, if it's something like really minor, like something just dropped on your toe, you're all right. But I was still like, I can't hear something happen and just, I struggle with that. I really do. But I suppose because my husband doesn't struggle with it so much, it's good balance. But for me, it is like what's all this tough love? Can we just check if it's okay? Do you know what I mean?
I'm like her. I'll internalize in my head. I've gone through every possible.
Done the ABC assessment.
Does he have a concussion? Are his eyes dilated? Is he breathing properly? Is his chest rising and lowering as it should? Is there any bruise? Is there any breaks? I've gone through all of this in my head. Externally, I'm like, it's okay, don't worry, it's fine, don't worry. Let me see. Oh my gosh, I kiss it better. Internally, my eyes on you for the rest of the night. Like I can't. But externally, I don't want you to now be one small cut like this. I'll be like, oh, it's bleeding. Don't worry about it. But me too, I'm looking at my god. Oh my god, this is good blood. Like,
yeah, but I don't think any parents can. Oh my god, you've broken your leg. Like I'm not gonna do that.
Okay, but even in the event that they do break their leg, are you gonna be like, oh my god? Okay, don't worry, don't worry.
But anyone that's having a meltdown in a situation like that, I mean, where we really go with that? No. What I said is I can't just pretend like and just be like, oh, they're okay. I'm gonna fly to you and be like, are you okay? I'm gonna give you a cuddle. I'm gonna check your leg. I'm gonna kiss your leg. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I think you're shaking up and it's over. And like, come on. But what I'm saying is that there's literally people that will let you like limp and they'll give you time to come to them. They'll kind of just play it down. I will come to you. I will still come to you. Do you know what I mean? It's I'm going to take that second to acknowledge that something's happened to you. But some people aren't about that. They'll say, leave them, let them kind of realize it's not that deep. But because I come to you, you probably think it is that deep. But for me, it's that deep.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Doesn't mean I'm melting, but I do think it's that deep.
Yeah, what's actually happened.
Okay, don't worry, come. Some situations I'm like, okay, let me go and see what's happening. And I'll literally be running up the stairs. If you hear one, bang. You don't know what it could be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You have to run, you have to sprint. Everybody.
But you know there's some people that will hold and just wait, like, is he going to stand up? Or, you know, really? That's what I'm saying, I couldn't do that.
I think for me, it's how the child is. If they're not crying, then I'll wait and watch.
So if you heard, like, them drop down the stairs, they're not crying.
You just have to run.
And then you don't hear anything.
That's what I'm saying, I've run already.
You want to run and hurt yourself on the way up. That doesn't make sense.
That's fine.
It just depends. But
No. I'm saying that you react, but even in that instance, you need to keep yourself safe because you now running up the stairs, falling, whatever.
Babe, I can take 3 steps at a time. I'll be safe. Is my son safe? I'll be alright. I did PE. I did what's that thing that you be jumping? I done it with hurdles. I was number 1 in hurdles. Don't worry about all of that.
You can imagine.
I really was. That's how your legs are doing. Guys, I was sick. Honestly, go check the records.
I want to see the reaction of the child first.
Yeah.
If that because one child could bang themselves and they'll be fine, another child could bang themselves.
But that's what I'm saying. That child that's banged themselves and be fine. I want to check, even though you think you're fine.
You're comfortable. I'm not running to you. Like you seem okay. Do you understand? I'm like, oh, come here. Do you want to cuddle like that? But the one that's crying is when you have to run over to and really rub them and blow them.
Because some kids don't cry. You know, some kids. So we've been doing this from time. Blow up. But my thing is, some children, because they're so distracted or they want to do what they're doing, they'll hurt themselves and just get on with it. You could have really hurt yourself. And it's now later we see that the leg is purple. I'm not waiting to that point. Do you know what I mean? That's why I always want to check it first. And then when I know, okay, I can now release you, like, I can't risk it, man.
If you don't react that way. So if your reaction isn't so dramatic, then theirs probably won't be either. And it just makes that whole situation easier. But it can be hard because whenever I see them fall, I just like, my heart just like skips 5 beats and I'm just like, oh, please let them be okay. And then, but I try not to let them see me kind of freak out. It just seems to help with that process better. They usually just get right back up and they're really resilient. And I'm like, oh, okay, they're fine. So I've just really learned with Noah, I had to learn that kind of quickly. But I'm really glad that I did because it seems to make the falling process and the tumble process a lot easier. for both of us. I don't worry about messes that my kids make. Now, this can be hard, especially for me. I have like OCD for real. But for some reason, when it comes to my kids, like making a mess with their sensory play or just making a mess in here in general, or even in the room, I don't get mad. I feel like when they're making a mess, it's a teaching, learning moment. And I feel like I can't really be mad at that.
I get this to a certain extent. So you can't be destroying things, but like the room will get tidy at the end of the day. So I don't mind. Like if you bring out all your toys and kind of mash place up, I don't really mind. Even with food, like to a certain extent, like because I know, for instance, now Judah, not so much now, but early when feeding, obviously you have to like, it's less about how much you're eating, isn't it, as a baby? It's more about like you learning foods. Because
I want to know what they're eating. Sorry.
So the touching, do you understand? Like the smell. Like I don't mind so much. Not so much how much you take in. Like I don't mind all of that. But again, it's me that's tidying up. So there's levels to it. There is levels, but I don't mind a healthy amount of mess as long as it's not too much tidy up.
Yeah, I agree. I actually like Micaiah bringing down this stuff and playing with it because it's to be played with. You're a child. You play with these things. I may say, okay, play with it in this particular, like in the living room or in the bedroom. So I know that that's a focused area that I need to tidy up. But generally, I'm fine with that. But with the eating, because I know you mentioned it, but Judah's obviously much younger. I think Micaiah, and he's now 4, going 5. Like when you're eating, you need to be conscious of, you know, when all the rice is on the floor and all you had is a chicken. It's a bit like, where are we going with this? Because they're in school and they have to be able to eat by themselves. So I'm a bit more conscious on that mess and stuff like that with food and just trying to make him conscious of keeping food on his plate. But I'm really here for just be a kid, just play with the toys and if it's something really messy or really small or glitter or something I can't handle, I just will take it out of this. It won't be an option to you. If I can't clean it, it won't be available.
Yeah, basically.
I've got sand and it's on a high shelf and
exactly.
Twice because
why did you get sand?
It was a gift.
I made that mistake.
But he always, but if you brought down, he loves it. That's the thing, but you can't play with it all the time because it's dangerous.
I bought a whole bag of sand, not even kinetic sand, just proper, because I just thought, I thought, oh, they love messy play. Sadiq was like, you better take that thing back to whatever shop you bought it from. And then I thought, it's probably gonna be mad. But you know, sometimes you just think, they like these things. I can put it in like a stand, like a bowl outside and they can just mess around with it. It's just, I like the fact that if they enjoy something, play with it, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I don't know. Right now, with the 3 of them, the mess is a lot. So more time. I don't mind the mess, but are you done with that? Can you put it away? I'm one of those. Like there was one day, they asked the kids to like imitate their parents, and all Sienna could say is tidy up, pick this up, because that's constantly me. I don't know. I don't mind the mess, but if you're done with it, pick it up and put it away. Like.
So you still allow them to play with it. It's just making them tidy up at the end, which I think they should all be doing.
Not even at the end, like while you're just because they play and then they go into the next one. As you go, be putting that one back and then take the next one out. Like I don't know. But yeah,
I can't really be mad at that.
We'll just do one more and then
isn't that bad usually, and if it is, like whatever, it's just part of being a mom. But I don't feel like it's any reason to get mad or upset about it. I just like to keep in mind that if they're making a mess, then you know what, they're learning and they're growing, and it's a good thing. And the last and final thing that I have is I don't make my kids share. Now the reason being for this is like when you really think about it, if a kid has a toy and they got it first, like why would you make them give it to the other kid just because they wanted it? You know what I'm saying? Yes, sharing is caring, but I feel like in that certain situation, let the kid play with it first that had it first, and then when that kid is done, then the next kid can play with that item or that piece, whatever, because I just feel like that's just the way it should be. Like why take it from one kid that's enjoying it just for the other one to enjoy it that wanted it?
That makes sense.
But that is sharing though.
Yeah, essentially it's sharing. But also there's kids that they just don't want that child to play with that toy, but they don't want to play with the toy.
Yeah, exactly.
And in that situation, you need to share.
Yeah,
exactly.
Just because, like, if you come to my house and like you're entertaining, you're now hosting.
Yeah.
So let something that you play with all the time, or don't play with all the time, whatever the case may be. If they want to play with it on that particular day, let them play with it.
Yeah, I agree.
I
agree with that.
Hospitality.
Yeah.
But definitely the turn taking, like with because that siblings.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's your turn.
Be their turn now.
Yeah.
It's your turn.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you still know that it's your toy. But you know, like, are you finished playing, or can your sister play with it? And then okay, if you don't want your sister to play with that, what can they play with? Like, you're still giving them the option. You're still letting them know it belongs to them.
Yeah.
But you share.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's something that will carry you through life. What is that? You're gonna be a
100%.
Grinch.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's see what she's saying and we wrap up.
Second. So that's how we handle that. And to be honest, Noah likes to share on his own when he feels inclined to. He loves to give his sister a little food and things like that. So honestly, that has worked really well for us, and it just kind of keeps the peace. If that kid wants the same toy that the other kid has, I literally just give them something else. I'll give Nola something else, or Noah something else if he wants something.
Pause it for a second. That's what Roman does. These kids,
They're smart.
Judas playing with a toy he likes. He'll go find something else. Hey,
And
go
train
Judas,
it.
give it to him.
Yeah.
Take
And
that
take
toy.
what he wants.
Let's go play.
Until Judah starts clocking on, because that's now Zeke, he's clocked that. So no, he's like, no. What are you trying to give me this? Trying to palm me off with this? He's like, no way, he's not having it. But the way Sienna will combat it is okay, Zeke, let's take turns. I'll have a turn as well. I have a turn, and then you have a turn. She's the everybody have turns. But Zeke, try to give him something else. That guy is too smart.
Sometimes though, because Noah just will take things from Nola, but I literally will take it back from him, give it to her, and give him something else. Because Nola had it first, or if Noah had it first, same thing. So that's the way we handle sharing in this house. So we don't make them share unless they want to.
Okay. But there's some children that will hog that toy from morning till they go to sleep.
Yeah, and go to bed.
So if you're doing that every day and Nola wants to play with the toy, what's happening? Do you know what I mean? I feel like, I don't know, I wouldn't be able, it's just unfair.
Yeah.
I would have to say like, it's yours, but let her play with it and then you play. I wouldn't be able to, because I can understand why she's saying what she's saying, but some children hog toys and some other children, they don't want the alternative. Yeah. They just didn't wake up early enough or they weren't quick enough to get to that toy. So what happens? Exactly, they're crawling whilst the old one has ran there and got it. So what happens?
It's true.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's beauty in sharing. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Sharing even like plates of food. Sometimes, depending on what it is, I make the kids eat from the same plate. Like, we'll do it.
That's so cute.
Yeah, because I don't know. There's beauty in sharing. Like, you should be able to share. Like, in a way, it's teaching you, like, even if it's your last or your only, like, why not? You have a piece of biscuit, I have a piece of, like...
generosity.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah.
It's really good.
I actually, funny enough, I really don't think it's a good thing for a child not to be able to share.
Yeah.
Or for a child not to be taught to share. Like, I think naturally children, it's mine, they have that kind of ownership over things, but you just teach them. Do you know what I mean? It's like you said, it's yours. She's only going to borrow it for a little while. All that kind of conversation. But I think for me, it's important to teach my children and every other child around me to share. Do you know what I mean? And just have that self-control that it's only gone for a while. You don't need to have a panic and whatever else. Yeah. It's not that big of a deal.
Gone.
Do you know what I mean?
It's just a thing, like...
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, it's just a toy.
Yeah, I agree.
Guys, thanks so much for watching. Obviously, let us know your views. Let us know what you're thinking in terms of, what you don't let your children do and reasons why. So we'll see you next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.